Comic-Cat's blood drive reportedly sees smaller turnout after reducing reliance on anime titty posters. So they gave in to the reeing outrage mob, and this is what happens. And here's another reason it could have been a huge failure. So Comic-Cat is like the bi-yearly gathering of degenerate weebs from all over the world, right? They converge on Comic-Cat to get their fucking hentai dojins that they can't get anywhere else. I mean, they have non-hentai stuff too, but we're talking the good shit. Like, all the good hentai shows up to Comic-Cat. And these guys, the Red Cross, is basically saying, hey, we find your stuff problematic and degenerate and all that, so we can't show it, but we still want your blood. Yeah, they're like literal bloodsuckers now. It's like, yeah, we don't like you and the stuff that you like. Could you give us your blood, please? This is surely gonna go over well, isn't it? Yeah, it went about as well as expected. Yeah, you do not show up to a fucking event like Comic-Cat and basically spout the message that, oh, we don't like your stuff and we find it problematic, but we still want you to give us your blood. Following the controversy surrounding the Japanese Red Cross blood drive that included a widespread poster of the very busty and alluring Uzaki-chan, the Comic-Cat blood drive at the Comic Market 97 decided to go with a more low-key approach for the event, and as a result, not as many people turned out. The Japanese blog Hachima Draft captured some of the twats from the Japanese section of Twitter discussing the event. The initial twats only mentioned the pictures and promotional art were decidedly different this time around to be more considerate. Remember what I just said. This would be like pulling up to a literal hentai convention and then saying like, oh no, we can't advertise using big boobed anime, just big anime titties, big boobed ladies, because we have to be considerate to people who are offended by the stuff you like. Now give us your blood. Now fuck no. If you want to appeal to the people who don't like the stuff we like, go get their blood, bitch. You're not gonna come fucking insult us on our home turf and expect us to cooperate with you. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. A few tweets did point out that there were still anime girls on posters featured throughout the donation drive, but the images were only present once you got to the drive. This was a typical advertising thing right there. The people who are already there were probably gonna already intend to give you the blood, right? The whole point of these posters, the whole point of the advertising is to get people there. And they failed spectacularly. Some tried to argue that since they were still present, only pinned to the side of the buses, that nothing had changed, the people complaining were just cooking up noise. Others rightfully retorted that they seemed a bit small. Yeah, look at this. I mean, it does seem a little bit small. This is not something designed to grab attention. And looks like they succeeded. They didn't want to get attention. They didn't get attention. Mission accomplished. Give whoever's idea this was a medal. They succeeded. They did not attract any attention to the event. On December 31st of current year -1, however, Twitter user TK Takamura took the naysayers and the defectors to task, making a lengthy thread pointing out that not only were the posters much smaller and less busty than the Uzaki-chan posters that's caused such a triggered butthurt before, but that it looked as if the donation organization was folding under pressure to avoid controversy caused by feminazi agitators. Takamura pointed out that the feminazis creating such a stir resulted in the blood drive going with a far less aggressive promotional campaign, and in result, less turnout from people willing to donate blood. So once again, even if I was intending to donate blood, if you come to my home turf and insult me like that, like, fucking forget it. Again, it would be like showing up to a hentai convention and insulting hentai, and then telling us, oh, give us your blood, by the way. No, fuck no. Get out of here. Now, Takamura also compared the presence of anime posters during the C95 blood drive from the Red Cross compared to the most recent 97 drive, where the posters were more prominent, and the advertising using the hot waifus more readily visible compared to the small images stuck to the side of the bus this time around. Yeah, a little bit more prominent. The real travesty of it all is that the most prominent store advertising consisted of signs with text instead of actual images. This resulted in fewer people knowing or caring about the donation drive because the signs with text were nowhere near as noticeable as the advertisements that circulated featuring Uzaki-chan. Yeah, I know. See, if I'm at a crowded fucking event that's just plastered with anime titties and posters everywhere, and here I see a piece of paper with a bunch of text on it, yes, I'm gonna fucking skip it. If you want to get my attention, you better show me something I want to see. Now, obviously, this comes after feminazis on Twitter in both the West and Japan attacked the Red Cross for the Uzaki-chan posters. Well, just like when Disney sacrificed us for the actual toxic element of the fandom, I hope the Red Cross is happy. I'm sure all of these whining feminazis showed up to donate blood in the weeb's stead. I'm sure there was lines of feminazis, lines of pods of blue-haired land whales going around the corner, just coming in to donate blood. What am I saying? Of course that didn't happen. Oh, hilariously enough, there were still feminazis complaining about the posters where the females featured in the artwork were not sexualized and even fit the standard of being cute without being overly busty, yet it was still attacked. Yeah. This is what happens when you bend over for these people. They will keep going. You give an inch, they'll take a mile every time. The only way to deal with these parasites is to smack them upside the head and say, fuck you, get out of here. Blood donation is, as its name suggests, a donation. So if you don't at least pamper your donors a little, why would they come to you anyway? It's almost as if these guys need to learn how advertising and marketing works. So given what happened with the Red Cross and how they scaled back on the waifu-worthy advertising, which only cost them in the long run, none of these guys are wrong in pointing this shit out. Now, if someone in Japan dies from not getting a blood transfusion in time because they didn't have enough supply, you know you can now blame it on the feminazis. Yeah, you guys heard it here too. You know exactly who to blame. These feminazi snowflake whiners now have blood on their hands. If you're trying to attract attention, you have to actually do things that attract attention from the crowd you're trying to attract. And what crowd are you trying to attract at Comiket? Do you think these feminazis are at Comiket, really? I hope they learned their lesson, but something tells me they won't. Some people, some companies, some organizations just have to go bankrupt, you know? In case some of you aren't aware yet, we actually have launched the Blade Devil merch shop. Link in the description box. So if you've ever wanted to support the channel but actually wanted something physical in return, we got the shop for you now. Lots of good stuff up in here. So if you would like any of those, or just in general want to support the channel, want to support original content, original products, like Diversity in Comics always used to say, then this is probably the best way to do it. So check it out. We're going to be adding new items on a monthly basis, at least in the near future. So check back often, and independent projects like the ones we're working on are only possible thanks to you guys. So appreciate all of your support.